If any Black, Indigenous, or racialized group said that they were going to storm the Capitol building, they would have been slaughtered before they reached the steps.
Canadians are sharing in the world's shock at yesterday's attack on the American Capitol building in Washington. But Black community organizers and academics studying policing say there's a clear double standard in the way American police treated rioters who attacked the Capitol building and Black Lives Matter protesters last summer.
The footage that we've seen speaks for itself in this matter. The way in which the protesters, those, as people have rightly said, engaged in both violent and destructive behavior yesterday, were treated very, very, very differently than the people who were out to demonstrate against anti-Black racism and other forms of racism.
The parallels could not be more stark. Black Lives Matter protesters in Washington last summer were met with violence at the hands of police and National Guardsmen. The Trump supporters who stormed the Capitol building yesterday were not met with the same degree of force. Black Lives Matter organizer Cyrus Marcus Ware says systemic racism and white supremacy are inherent to policing and is at the root of the differences in police response.
We saw this with them, lining the Capitol building during a Black Lives Matter protest this summer with full riot gear, with full weaponry ready to charge on any Black protester who barely raised their arm. And instead, yesterday, we saw them, of course, supporting white nationalism.
The aim of yesterday's protests was to overturn the results of the American presidential election. But even when confronted with the possibility of revolutionary political violence, police were reluctant to use force and in some instances were seen taking selfies with rioters. Sociology professor Akwazi Owusu-Bempah says prejudicial and racist attitudes are not unique to police.
I think it's endemic to the state itself and to popular mindset, right? This belief in Black criminality, Black violence, and Black dangerous is not restricted to the police. The police are members of our society. These views are held by certain segments of the population, consciously and unconsciously, right? And so I don't think we can look at this strictly as a policing problem.
In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, City News.